Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Eastleigh save, where we are at the first game of the season, back in the Premier League. We are straight back up and we are here taking on Stoke today in the first game of the season. So it's a big one. It's a big game to play. Let's take a look at a few things before we jump into the game though. So the first thing we will take a look at, we're wanting to avoid relegation where possible. We're predicted to come bottom, as usual. Nothing really a surprise there, and that's kind of where we're at with things on that front. Not overly optimistic. If we can avoid relegation, that is an absolute win. We were close last time, and I think we've got a better side and better everything this time round. So I think we've got a chance. But let's take a look at the transfers and kind of who we've brought in, who we've let go over the summer, and how that's looking. Okay, so we are here at the transfers. There's been changes. There's been changes at the end of last season, at the start of this one. So you've seen a lot of these players that we brought in. They were already kind of booked in to have joined us, but I'll give you a quick rundown of who they are, and if there's any new ones. I can't quite remember who's who I've shown, who not. But there you go. First one is Alexander Conde, the Colombian right back. He came in for very, very cheap. £1 million he was bought for, valued 3.3 to 7 million. So granted, he's a championship player really, and maybe a decent Premier League right back. More for the money side. I was thinking I could turn him around for a swift profit. Even in January, I could probably sell him for a bit of money if he's not really been a standout. We've also got Murillo from Fluminense. He was a player that we brought in, I know at the end of last season rather than the beginning of this. 18-year-old Brazilian, valued at a lot of money, and looks pretty decent. He'll be one of our strikers up top. We're sticking with the same formation as we did at the end of last season. Francisco Joramillo, another player that's been looking pretty good for us as well in pre-season. 39 to 52 million valuation. Manuel Meje is still out on loan to Midtjylland. He will be this season, so we don't need that many strikers, and that's what we've got. Ulises Zlezak, he is an Argentinian from San Lorenzo, another player that looks very, very promising in the middle of the park, which we need a few of. Goran Rodic is a player that can play, it is naturally a right back, but can play at left back as well, which will probably be using him a bit more this season. 19 years old, Serbian, one cap for the Serbian national team, so I mean, looking very, very nice. Good bit of pace on him as well. And then we've also got Gaston Gonzalez. He's an attacking midfielder who's in our under-23s at the moment, 20 years old. Again, brought in for 1.2 million, so quite a low, at the lower end of the price range. And again, we can make some money on him. Now, there are obviously a few transfers that you'll have seen here. First one, Kim Jae-hoon has moved to Burnley. He's yeah, it wasn't my choice. I wouldn't have let him go because we've just developed him into a fullback, and a decent one he looks like. But yeah, unfortunately, they matched his release clause at £21 million and we had to sell him. That was kind of it. Ben Elliott is another player that has gone again. 7.5 million we got for him. He's gone to Fenerbahce. He was just a bit upset that he wasn't playing as much as he'd hoped and all that stuff, and he wasn't going to get in the first team in the Premier League with these sort of stats. So he got us up, which is great, and then it's time for him to move on. We've made £17.5 million from bringing him in and selling him. So, I mean, that is probably the best bit of deal I've ever done on Football Manager. So I'm very, very happy with that. Moving on to this season, though, there are a lot more changes to keep an eye out for. So we'll do sales first off. Danny Rios has left us. He's gone and joined Junior. Again, a goalkeeper that had a lot of promise to start out with us. In the end, wasn't quite... I can't get rid of this. What is going on? In the end, wasn't quite the player we'd hoped. We made a little bit of money on him as well, so nothing too bad. Ended up on loan at Linfield and Birmingham in the last 2 seasons. We also sold Oscarzinho to Inter Milan. This was an interesting one. He looked a very good player, certainly. 1.5 million we brought him in from Bragantino in Brazil. He was loaned out to Accrington and Oxford for 2 years. Then we decided to sell him this year because he wasn't going to reach the quality of players we've already got in the squad, and he was getting to that age where he wasn't going to... He's kind of going to start to plateau and wasn't going to quite show his promise that we'd hoped. So we sold him to Inter Milan, who's a big team, for 5.25 million. So profit there, which is great. Next one is Vonamer Marcotta. He has been sold to Dynamo. Again, it's a case that he was out on loan at halfway through last season. He just wasn't going to play for us. Because initially the plan was Kim Jae-hoon was going to play. But a bit of confusion there kind of led to him leaving. Then David Conway, he's gone to Montpellier. He's another player that we weren't going to really play. He's not a natural centre midfielder. He is more of a winger. He's not that great of a winger anymore. At 26 years old, we've made a good bit of money on him as well. Brought him in for a free from Shelbourne. He's been with us for a good few years, and then a £10.25 million move to Montpellier. I mean, one assist in one appearance, not a bad start for him over there, so he's obviously going to enjoy himself. And then Arseny Sukalo, the Belarusian international, he's moved to Derby County again. Just not quite good enough to be Premier League quality. He's played 29 games for us previously there, but he wasn't very good. So we have moved him on. Now, there are a couple here to get excited about. The first one, Carlos Garcia is back. We have permanently signed him back from Lazio. He was on loan last season. I wasn't sure how we were going to replace him. So the best way to replace him is just to bring him back. So it's not even a loan. It is a straight up purchase. We bought him straight back. So we've spent a lot of money on him. We lost 500,000, but then I'd say we haven't lost 500,000 really. I'd have happily spent 500,000 to bring him back on loan. So really, it's kind of one of those things where ultimately we've just still, I'm not too bothered, basically, because of how good he is. Another player that we've signed is Marco Sacely from Genk, £22 million. So a lot of money we spent on him. I think he was our most expensive buy. And for good reason. He's a centre-half who has experience in international football with Belgium. 3 appearances there. Looks pretty good. 6 foot, fantastic mentals, and technically looks pretty decent as well. I mean, he's not incredible, but we needed a centre-half. Basically, our centre-halves were well off. And this is a very interesting one. I initially just bought him because of the name. Guto von Williams, what a name. From MK Dons, 14.75 million is a massive amount of money. But we're developing him as a left-back. So, I mean, we did it with Kim Jae-hoon. I think we can do it with this guy because he has been very, very good there. Some good marking already, some good tackling. Heading's not great, but he's a fullback, so it doesn't matter as much. And 1 goal and 1 appearance for Wales at 18 years old. I think he could develop into a very, very good left-back. That's what I'm hoping anyway, especially in the design of play we will be playing. Schedule-wise, like I say, we've got Stoke today. A lot of games we've played over pre-season, and a lot of games. We went to Ireland for pre-season friendlies, a little tour around there, and we played some big teams. So we played Inter, Dortmund, Ajax, Benfica, just to really test ourselves to see how good we are. Obviously, they might not have played their full team and best team, but we did all right against them. So, I mean, that gives us a boost either way. Tactically, we are sticking with what we know, what we did well with last season. So let's jump into the fixture and have a proper look at this before we get into the Stoke game. So Pereira in goal, Rodic at right back, Sacely, and Abdul Rahman, the Egyptian that we brought in, who was loaned straight back out to Al Ahly last season in January. So he's now joined us for sure, properly. He's actually in the team, so that's good. And hopefully he'll be big for us, 20 years old at the back, alongside Sacely. Then Von Williams will be playing at left back. Again, you see the average roll ability kind of level, but I think he's been pretty good pre-season, so I'm okay with that. Aiden Fayazoglu will be playing at the deep line playmaker role with Ibrahim slightly ahead of him, along next to Anaya. Then Dugdale behind Garcia and Ozer's been very, very good in pre-season, so I wanted to show him that and why that's good. We've got a bunch of players on the bench. I think I take Gurkov and put Anderson there just to give us a different option in the defensively. Otherwise, Calvin Ramsey will probably moan at me at some point in the season because I probably won't play him. But there you go. Let's jump into the game. Let's see how we get on. I'm hoping for a win today. against Stoke, who's obviously a good side, but not one of the big sides. So if we can get a win, start off flying, hopefully we can keep a bit of momentum, especially as we won the league last year in the Championship. That gives us every chance to be able to carry that on into this season, and we might need that kind of momentum to give us a good start anyway. So let's get stuck in and hopefully get a good result. So with the first 15 minutes going down, we've had little chances, but we did have a corner there. It was headed away, but it looks like Dugdale should be able to get back on the end of that, as play it back out wide to Aiden, to then inside to Anaya. We're going to look to try and keep this. That's what we do. We like to play those short passes in and around the box to create those little gaps and little moments where we can make something happen. Dugdale here, back to him, and then Ibrahim, who looks round the corner to Carlos Garcia, who shoots off the post. Oh, that would have been such a good start to the game within the first 15 minutes to get a goal there. Carlos Garcia rattling the post, falling gratefully in the arms of Stolaric in goal. I went for the name of the keeper because I thought that would sound better, but then I saw the name and I was half tempted just to bail out on that. But I went for it. It's probably wrong how you pronounce it, but let me know. 25 minutes though. We're looking okay. Nothing spectacular. I mean, that was the first highlight of the game that you just saw. So hopefully, if we keep doing that, that's fine. Stoke are the ones who are getting more shots on target, more shots in general. But we are picking up our game a little bit. Maybe takes a little bit of time to get used to the speed again. We are home, though, which is good. I mean, that is a poor kind of goal kick, free kick, as it comes straight to Stoke, who are looking to come forward. Launderson through on goal. Pereira makes up for the mistake initially, but it is out for a corner as he's had to palm it wide to make that stop, which they will look to take on the 30-minute mark. Can they get a goal with 15 minutes to go till half-time? Headed away by Sacely. A good header as well. Fredrickson will reach that, but have to end up poking it out for an Eastleigh throw-in, which is good. We need to react now. We need to... I think we will make changes at half-time. I think that's what we need. And look at that. Von Williams playing very, very well already. 7 rating at left back, and he's a winger. See, that's what I mean. I just find these gems, and they're great. But a few minutes to go till half-time. Would I take a draw in this game? Yes. Do I want a draw? No. I definitely want a win to kick off the season. But Farhan, with the ball in, it's headed to away. Dugdale gets on that one and heads it further. Are we going to be able to get to this one? It looks like Carlos Garcia will get there. And he's got a bit of time to pick out a pass. Plays it back to Anaya as he looks to go forward. Ball through to him as he found that gap. Carlos Garcia bombing down this left-hand side. He cuts it across. It is cleared, though. Dugdale's not able to get on that ball on the edge of the box. But Abdul Rahman, again, plays it into Aiden. Back to Sacely. Then up to Abdul Rahman again. Aiden, they're just keeping it nicely at the back. No real pressure on them. Anaya looks round the corner to Von Williams. Can he play someone? Aiden. Then Ozer on the edge. Back to Von Williams, who's got to be able to deliver something here. This is prime territory. Finds it across. Carlos Garcia with the goal. And that is exactly what we want Guto to do on that left-hand side. I might be pronouncing that wrong. He's Welsh. Guto Von Williams. What a name. I mean, it's just phenomenal stuff. Carlos Garcia with the finish, though. Exactly where he needs to be for those sort of balls across. Azur lays it off to him. Pushes the fullback back in. Von Williams has got plenty of time to fire that across. Keeper's not come to get it. And Carlos Garcia taps it home just as we get to half-time. I mean, what a time to score. A fantastic goal as well. Well worked, keeping that ball slow, moving it around, finding that opportunity and getting the ball across. But Anaya is looking a little bit jaded. I want to make sure our players aren't jaded. That is our big thing. Emmanuel Mateo, experience, has played a lot for the team in this formation. He knows the squad. He will do a job in there. He'll work hard. We know that. Mateo, the Spaniard. We do have a very, very young squad, which is something we noticed as Von Williams gets the ball in from the throw-in. He looks to get it across, but it does come back to him after the block. Mateo, back to Aiden. He plays across to Ibrahim. Back to Mateo again. Then Dugdale. Is he going to be able to find someone? Not quite, as Aiden looks for a ball through to Von Williams, but it's a poor pass which is cut out. Gerhardt's there, but Sacely managed to get a tackle in, but it only falls back to Forelli, who finds Bacon on the right-hand side. Now Codger and Widowson. Well, I couldn't really read that because of the people on the bench. Receives it again, looking down this right-hand side, working it. A cross-field ball finds Launderson as it goes slightly over his head. He does play it back to White. He looks back stick. It's a header by Bacon. Michael Bacon's just scored there. And maybe that is the detriment we have with Von Williams at left-back. He created the first goal for us, and he's been beaten at the back post for that one. It's a good header by Bacon, but I mean, look, he's a little bit lazy getting back. He is there though, which is fine. It's just going up for that header. Bacon wins it, and Pereira's nowhere near it. Which I mean, it has to be a good header from that. It's quite far out, to be fair, to get it to the far corner, but it's not. Could be worse. It could be absolutely worse. It is a poor pass, really, to start with by Aiden Fezoglu to allow them to start that break initially. Rodic, though, on the right-hand side, he looks to get the ball across, but it's headed clear by Fredrickson after the initial block. But Rodic does get it again. Aiden finds Carlos Garcia, who's managed to find a gap. Can he get the ball across? He does. Ozer's there. I mean, and it's almost... not quite identical, but it's the same goal as previously in the finish. The ball gets fired across the box and it's tapped in by Ozer. A fantastic goal to score again. If we do that all season, I'm absolutely fine with that. It's selfish play. It's great stuff. Aiden manages to make up for his initial mistake for the goal, and Carlos Garcia fires it across for Ozer to tap it home. He was a little worried about the players we were bringing in. He was concerned about his position in the side, but I said, if you get the goals, mate, you'll stay in the team. It's a good bit of competition for you, and he certainly has done that today so far. Lundstrom with receiving the ball from White, who looks again to that back post. This time Abdul Rahman's there to head clear. Von Williams is going to have to get out there to get to Widowson to try and stop this cross. He doesn't. Lundstrom gets the header on goal, but I think enough was done to put him off. It looks like Kaiki has come on now for Bacon, is the goal scorer. Half an hour to go as Pereira hits that ball far up the pitch. Dugdale receives it though, and there's loads of space over there. I mean, he wasn't quite able, as the defender managed to usher him out wide to get that ball across, but he will this time fire it across low. It is cleared by White. Diego Lete get on to that one as White plays it forward again. They will look to clear this ball, though, nice and long, but Abdul Rahman is there. None of their attackers are anywhere near him, and so he's got plenty of time to find Von Williams, who plays a 1-2 with Mateo, and who gets it back again. Aiden Fezoglu into Dugdale, back to Ibrahim, who looks for that switch out to Von Williams, who's got a bit of space now to be able to work something here. He does look to cut back to Mateo. Is that a penalty? It looks like it might be a free kick. I think it was just outside the box, but certainly a foul, that's for sure. Mateo got in front of Codger, was able to poke it past him, won what will be a free kick as expected. I wasn't really confident that was going to be a penalty, so quite comfortably a free kick there for us. But we're looking good. 2.22 XG. I mean, to be fair, our shots were from a yard out, so that's probably why it is. But hey, we're matching our XG, which is good to see. If we'd have missed those chances, there would be trouble. 20 minutes to go, though. We will look to take Ibrahim off. Slezek will come in there on that side, working hard. And I think we might look at changing Dugdale at some point as well, just because he's not been incredible. He's not been bad, but he's not been incredible. And obviously, it'll be good to get some fresh legs on, or Aiden Fezoglu if we can. But we have to defend this corner first. Fredrickson with the header. It goes just wide of the near post. It was a good header at that near post to get it towards goal. But we were able to deal with it. 15 minutes now till the end of the game. We will look to make that change that we mentioned. Fezoglu, I think, will be the one to come off, and Kevin Anderson to come on in that sitting role. Obviously, coming from Man United, he will be looking forward to being in the Premier League this season to take on his old club. Anderson wins it. Slezak across to Rodic. He's got plenty of space and time here to bring this ball forward as he looks forward to Carlos Garcia, who's going to drive at the defence. He's going to want some support. He plays it through to Ozer, who is through on goal. Can he finish? He looks for a dink. Does just go high and wide of the goal. I like the idea. The execution wasn't quite good enough to get that done. But it was good play initially to get it through to him. Garcia did well on the ball as well as Rodic driving forward initially from us moving it out from the back, which is good to see. 3 points, though, are looking more and more likely as we get closer and closer to the end of the game. Anderson receives the ball after the headed clearance from the Stoke defence. As the ball gets played back, Anderson receives again. He looks for a ball through to Mateo, who's made that deeper run. He shoots. It's a good save by the keeper, who palms it away. But Mateo's run was lovely, and it was well found by Kevin Anderson even, not Ken, as Slezak will take this corner. 5 minutes to go. Can we get another goal? Not quite, as Abdul Rahman's header does head over the bar. As the clock starts to tick down, we are feeling more and more confident that this will go our way. We've made our 3 subs, so all we can really do now is just sit back and watch and hopefully wrap things up, which looks like we will do. The first game of this season is against Stoke. The first game of this season is a win. I think we were on even in the first game completely of this league this season, because it looks like no one else has played. But there you go. A fantastic start to the season. We started good last time. Hopefully this time around in the Premier League, we will continue having a good start and not drop off quite as badly as we did last time. But plenty of debuts for our team this season. And we will look to go forward. Lots and lots of games to be played. Southampton up next, which is a little bit of a derby, but we won't be bringing you that one. We might play them later on in the season if needed. But there you go. Thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one.